2 rounds down in season number 2 and 7 more to go as we are back stateside for the first trip to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the RIL Daredevil Series. Round number 3 on season number 2. There will be a couple of firsts here for the series tonight, so we're happy that you're along for the ride here on Turn 200. Howdy, folks. My name is Tommy Cook, and we've got the one and only the King, the Mr. Matt Williamson, along with me as always. And coming off of a roller coaster of a race at Brands Hatch last week, we're going back in circles here tonight. One man who may not be as thrilled about that as much as some of the other drivers here tonight is last week's winner, Michael Deturck. After taking his 5th career Daredevil Series victory, his first of the season, how far did he move up in the point standings, Matt?
Well, we've showcased this crazy points rubric before, but it is on full display here as after his dominant victory last week at Brands Hatch, Michael Deturk, who retired in round 1 after just 13 laps, mind you, jumped 21 spots all the way up the 4th in the standings.
Wow.
He sits behind, he sits behind Octavio Rondeletto, who has a win and a second-place finish in the 2 races so far, Nicholas Johnston, who has finished 3rd in both races, and Julian Martinez Pastor, who has finished 4th in both races. Those guys sit 1, 2, and 3 in the points. So some very consistent starts from those 3 drivers have gotten them out in front, but guys like Deturk and Nate Siefker, who round out the top 5 in the standings, have had one good race and one bad race, but are still well within reach of the leaders here. In fact, Siefker sits exactly 1,000 points off of the lead, so a win here tonight would draw him very close to the top of the point sheet. A couple of big movers after Brands Hatch other than Michael Deturk were Bless Lopez. His top 10 finish last round moved him up 10 spots to 15th, and Hugo Glass moved up 3 spots as well after his 6th place finish. Of the drivers that started the race, Bruno Miranda and Nicholas Isidro lost the most spots with 5 apiece. Bruno now sits outside of the top 10 in points. Our reigning champion also moved out of the top 10 in points. Dakota DeMay lost 2 positions and now sits P12 despite a top 10 finish in Brands Hatch.
Thank you for that. We said that there were going to be a few firsts here tonight, and we won't spoil some of them because we've got some tricks up our sleeve here tonight. But one of the big things to note is that, believe it or not, this will be the first night race in Daredevil Series history under the lights here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now, if you're new around here, you will have definitely missed the inaugural race of the RIL Daredevil Series way back in March of the year of our Lord and Savior, 2022. Matt, you and I came into that race not knowing anybody at all or what we were going to see that day, what to expect, and came away with an awesome experience and came away with one of the best races you or I have ever seen. Talk me through what we saw that day at what is now Legacy Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Tommy, what we saw on that fateful evening is the birth of the kind of action we have become accustomed to and absolutely love here in the Daredevil series. Hectic, chaotic, and dare I say poetic pack-style racing. You dare.
I think you dare.
Oh, I dared. I went there. Our Daredevils were slicing and dicing, making bold moves to be crowned the winner in the inaugural race of our beloved Lotus 79 series. It all ended with quite the bang as many drivers found themselves into the catch fence out of Turn 2 on the final lap as Drew White appeared from the ashes of his competitors on his way to becoming the very first winner in the RIL Daredevil series.
And now the reason that I bring that up is we have not visited a 1.5-mile track since the day in question. And what we got in our little unofficial practice session yesterday and what we're seeing here in practice right now, we're going to see a lot of very similar action here in the virtual Queen City tonight. Lots of slicing and dicing, lots of hectic, chaotic, and yes, you dare say poetic pack-style racing is what is on tap here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, we said we weren't expecting many people to qualify for the Jacksonville Speedway 0-0 pot last week at Brands Hatch, and lo and behold, we had just one driver add their name to the list. That was, of course, race winner Michael Deturk, who joins the 7 other drivers who qualified at Auto Club to bring the total pot to $8. The way drivers qualify for the 0-0 pot is by finishing the race with 0 incident points and finishing on the lead lap, a.k.a. 0 laps down and 0-0. You get it? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Tonight it'll be trickier than it was at Auto Club, but definitely easier than it was at Brands Hatch.
Now that's epic.
We've got a surprise for you when we come back on Turn 200, and depending on who you ask, it may not be a welcomed one.
Well, we'll ask some of our drivers after the race. And
Yeah.
we'll get their take on what we're going to see here tonight.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Broken art open here now. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is your boy, Matt Williamson. Thanks for tuning in. Hope that you enjoyed our pre-race show. Unfortunately, Tommy Cook was here for the pre-race show, but he said he was going to the bathroom and has not returned. So I'm not really sure what's going on with him. Wait a minute. Is that...
What? I've been here the whole time. What are you talking about?
Is that you out on the track?
Yeah, I mean, I sent you a fax. Did you get the fax?
Tommy,
Did
you know how...
Did you change your fax number?
I don't have a fax number.
Oh, I must have sent that to Matt Houston then.
Well, nevertheless, what are you doing out here?
Well, I just wrecked Nicholas Johnston, first of all. Well, you know, it's been a great season, and I figured I would ruin it by making my debut with the RIL Daredevil Series as an on-track competitor here tonight. So, yeah, I'm going to be out on the track. I have relinquished to you the play-by-play duties here tonight because you will be doing it by yourself, a solo broadcast for you, again, with a little more warning this time at Richmond. So you get a little practice behind the stick here tonight as the lead man, and I get to be the comic relief for the race. So that's the role I've always been destined to play.
I guess that's true. As in true fashion here at Turn 200, my overlays have decided to not work. So we're gonna try to get these. We're gonna try to get these reloaded here as soon as possible. We're wrapping up practice here into qualifying, and I tell you what, we are going to have a chaotic race. I know that you've been out there on the track for a practice last night and now practice here tonight. What has it been like out there? We've kind of said that this is going to be like our inaugural race of the Daredevil Series at Legacy Atlanta. Is that kind of how this thing's playing out?
Spot on, honestly. Similar times. I mean, Legacy Atlanta is a little bumpier. I think Charlotte is kind of sneaky on tire wear, but I haven't really had that be too much of an issue here. The racing is really similar. It is hard work to run on the outside lane, to try and make passes, and to try and not encroach onto the lanes around you. So it is hard work to get on the outside. Of course, Drew White won from the outside at Atlanta, and Drew White is not going to be here tonight. So we will have a new winner tonight on the 1.5 mile in Daredevil competition. But it's been it's been pretty crazy. Lots of close calls and violent crashes in practice. And I think you know what I'm going to do, because you and I super speedway race quite a bit here. We've got, how many cars do we have in here? We've got 31? Or do we really have 31 cars in here? Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, I am
We've
showing...
lost 3
Yeah,
of those 31.
I'm showing we have 29 at the moment.
Wow.
So we have lost a couple, but there are 29 out there on the track, so it's going to be quite something.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, that's the most ever in Daredevil history. We had 28 at Auto Club. So, oh my. Yeah, so you know me, because you and I super speedway race every Monday night. My MO is always to stay in the back, stay out of trouble until it's go time. So that's going to be the plan here tonight. And hopefully I give everybody a good view. Maybe not put on a good show, but I can at least show the show from a little different vantage point than we usually get to display here on Turn 200. So excited to be out and amongst the drivers that you and I have gotten to watch for a season and a quarter now. It's been a lot of fun in practice, but 75 laps at Charlotte here tonight. It's about to be a different kind of game.
I mean, it certainly is, and it's not like you haven't raced with these drivers before. You have ran a few races in the Schaefer's IndyCar Series. Is that correct?
Yeah. I will say it was not very competitive in Schaefer's IndyCar competition, but I did share the track with some of these guys and gals, yes.
Well, I joined you for one of those races as we sponsored the Chicagoland race, and honestly, I thought you and I did fairly well for not really racing open-wheel cars very often, especially with some of the best drivers, the best open-wheel drivers on the iRacing service. So I am excited to see what you can show us here tonight.
You know, I will say, I will brag on myself a little bit. I was 7th fastest in practice out of 31 drivers. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to win the race, but what I'm saying is that I will be in victory lane tonight. One way or another, I actually will be in victory lane tonight.
Well, you'll definitely be up here to at least
exactly
interview our drivers. That's
exactly.
For certain.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. Here in qualifying, we have Rondeletto currently at the top of the board, followed by Matt Houston, Dakota DeMade, Alex Teeter, Bruno Miranda's rounding out the top 5. Are you going to get out there and qualify, or are you just not qualifying and you're going to sit in the back? I know that was what you said you were going to do, but
I'm sticking true to form, not even going to post a meme time because I want to start as far back as possible.
All right, well, we'll see how you shake up on the grid. There are actually quite a few drivers that have not taken a time here.
Yeah.
One of them is you, of course. Also that has not taken a time yet is Julian Martinez Pastor, Wes A. Shire, DL Lemon, Nicholas Isidro, Hugo Glass, and Peter Donchak have not taken times yet, although it looks like Isidro, Glass, and Donchak may all be on track at the moment, so they may be posting times here shortly.
Wow, 31 cars. That is incredible. Talking to Christopher Kresge before the season, he said, if we ever cracked 30, he'd be, pretty happy about that. So, and I will say a couple of things. I know you have driver chat turned off, which is good for the sake of keeping it a kind of clean broadcast a little bit. But Nate Siefker has said for every caution, he is doing a shot here tonight.
Oh, boy.
So we want to limit that. 2 other things I want to hit on very quickly before we get out of qualifying. Thanks, as always, to Christian Jasper for the points graphic that we showcase here every week on the broadcast. And also, I want to say a big shout-out to a friend of the channel, supporter of RIL competition, Matthew Short, who is dealing with a bout of an illness right now. So we hope to see him back and in full form very soon here.
Yeah, we've certainly missed him throughout the series so far. He was a staple in the series last season, and we haven't seen much of him this season so far. I think only in the first race at Fontana. So hoping to see him back here shortly. As the grid is set, And we will show you the grid here in a second as this session loads up for us here. Your starting grid for tonight's race. At Charlotte Motor Speedway here for the RIL Daredevil Series, at the top spot on the grids, Octavio Rondeletto. On his outside will be Matt Houston. Starting third, Dakota DeMade, your reigning champion in the series, needs a big race here tonight. On his outside, Alex Teeter. In row number 3, it's Bruno Miranda and Nate Siefker. 7th is Hugo Glass. Starting 8th, Christopher Kresge. Joshua Tucker, who we have not seen, is starting 9th. On his outside is Paul
Mikolajic. Yep.
Mikolajic. I was close.
Yep. You're so close.
Mikolajic rounds out the top 10. Behind them, Isidro and Watson. Michael Deturck, who had a dominating performance in our race last week, is starting 13th. On his outside is Nicholas Johnston, who is close in the points. Christopher Hill, we haven't seen much from him this season. Starting 15th. Trey Mitz in 16th. Logan Spath, Bless Lopez, Neil Lusher, and Michael Heineken round out your top 20. Starting in 21st, Christian Jasper. Oh, also need to mention Austin Lafferty. I just had a little glitch in the system there. Cody Claiborne, Will Weisbrod III, Zachary Flaum, Peter Donchek, Julian Martinez Pastor, Wes A. Shire, D.L. Lemon, and Tommy Cook are going to round out your drivers here tonight.
Oh, buddy. I am so excited. I can't even tell you. Even if I bend it into the catch fence on the first lap here, I'm pretty excited. Let me give you kind of what I'm going to be looking for here on the first couple of laps and throughout the opening stint of this race. Fuel window tonight going to be like 35 to 40 laps with 30 cars on the track here. Not expected to make a full fuel run at any point here tonight. Of course, it's the first night race in series history, so track conditions are going to be pretty generous here tonight. It's cool. The sun is already down on the sim. Nothing in my eyes here as we roll along the track. Did somebody just crash already? Somebody just crashed. It was Peter Donchek. Oh, my goodness.
I was just going to say, it looks like Peter, and he's already gone to the pits, I believe. He jumped to the pits.
Oh, my. That's a horrible start. Unbelievable. I feel so bad for Peter. That's the first time we've seen him here this season. Buddy, go right ahead. Enjoy the race here tonight. We're putting on a show for you and everybody here for Turn 200.
Well, I'm looking forward to it as the pace car pulls off, and we are going to go green. Push to the limit if you dare. It's double time. And this is going to be a huge pack-style race here tonight. And we've seen it already. We had a lot of jumping around in the running order, as I believe a few people might have taken UL, so I'm going to have to wait for my sim to actually load up the correct times here. I believe that is your reigning champion, Dakota DeMade, up there towards the front, and that's Octavio Rondeletto on his inside. Those two are doing battle in the front. Live timing and scoring is showing Siefker in first, as now we're going to go through some changes here.
Looking at the pack from my vantage point, it is absolutely crazy. Everybody trying to figure out what line is going to be best to try and catch up here. I've got some heavy hitters floating around me right now. I've got Wes A. Shire in front of me. He was a winner last season at Phoenix. Julian Martinez Pastor is riding around behind me, as is Zachary Flaum. Two guys that maybe don't have a ton of oval experience, but are just starting to feel it out here in what could be a crazy race here. They also could just be in survival mode here in the opening laps, as Cody Claiborne just came out of the pits as well.
And we have a huge battle brewing here for third between, that's Teeter, Houston, Siefker, Miranda, Galaz, all there together behind your leaders, Rondeletto and DeMade. Rondeletto's going to lead him across the line this time.
Sorry, I was going to say, Michael Deturk just rolled out of the pack big time in front of me. He is not even in my relative anymore.
Yeah, and Deturk's out there. He's back behind Flaum and Pastor. And that's the group behind you. There's a pack of 4 cars staying way behind the rest of the field. As this is our man to watch tonight, Tommy Cook rolling around in 24th place. Oh, and I love the picture, my friend. Love to see it from Farmington, Illinois.
Oh, we're wrecking! Oh!
And that's the big one!
Oh, my.
That is...
Oh, that's the whole damn field, just about. Holy cow.
That was... I missed the beginning of it, but that was at least 10, 15 cars. And one thing to mention, we do not have fast repairs in the RIL Daredevil Series, so if we have some damaged cars, that is going to be it for them.
I mean, I can't imagine there weren't some incredible drivers caught up in that, but that's, we were expecting something like that. We really were.
Right at the beginning of the field. I'm going to stick it on Siefker, and we're going to try to look at a replay here. It actually happened behind Siefker, or excuse me, it happened behind DeMade and Rondeletto. Trying to figure out who that was. I know Teeter was up there.
Weisbrod is crab walking it down the back straightaway, so I'd say he was definitely involved in that. That was crazy.
We're gonna back up here, and actually,
I forgot the pit.
Teeter was on the inside, and I don't remember who was on his outside, and I can't tell, but they hit the outside wall and came all the way down into Teeter. I think they might have been trying to get off the track. Spins Teeter around. He goes into the outside wall, and after that, it's going to be absolute mayhem. There's at least 6 cars there, 7. There's another one collected. Another one spinning behind them. Guys trying to check up. I mean, I'm counting... This is insane. I'm counting at least 15 plus cars that were damaged in that one. Holy moly.
Wow. Wow, yeah, it looked crazy. And, I came to a complete stop. Some of the guys behind me stopped behind me. Some of them rolled through. I mean, there was plenty of places to go because everybody that wrecked was parked underneath of the apron. It was just, it looked like an apocalypse scene in a movie. There was just carnage. That was insane.
So after that huge crash, I mean, I was showing, it had to have been at least 15 cars somewhere involved in this thing. We have 30 cars in our field right now, and I think at least all the way up to Claiborne, which would be 10 cars, was definitely involved. After that, I'm not sure. It was too hard to tell who all was involved in that one. And we only got through, 5, 6 laps there? I mean, we're only on lap 9 under caution right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was on lap 6. In turn 1 on lap 6, yeah.
I was just about to give everybody an in-car view of what your vantage point was right before that happened, and I probably should have gotten there. You probably had a great view of whatever was going on up there in the front.
Honestly, not. I saw smoke, and I saw a lot of cars that were in positions that they should not have been. I couldn't really pinpoint what was going on other than, oh, crap, I need to stop. So looking at the cars that were either involved in the accident or disconnected, Matt Houston, Alex Teeter, Hugo Glass, Joshua Tucker, Logan Spath, Will Weisbrod, Neil Lusher, Nicholas Johnston is disconnected as well.
Whoa.
I mean, damn, those are a lot of good cars and drivers.
Johnston disconnected. It didn't look like... I think Siefker might have been caught up as well. I don't know if he disconnected or not, but he has at least some damage for sure.
Wow.
And actually, he's in the pits right now, I think. So he's probably sitting in there trying to fix a little damage. As we see, there's at least 2, 4, 5 cars sitting in the pits right now.
And there goes Hugo Glass. Hugo Glass just disconnected. Man, he was off to a great start this season. And was just cracked into the top 10 in points. That's really too bad. But I tell you what I love to see is Christopher Kresge. Is he still running around in second there, or did he come down the pits?
No, he is rolling around in second. So I'm going to give you our top 10 here after a crazy start to our first night race in RIL Daredevil Series history. In first place right now, Octavio Rondeletto, who has been consistent as all get out here to begin the season. A first and a second place finish. Behind him, it's going to be Kresge, Trey Mitz, Austin Lafferty, Dakota DeMade rounds out the top 5. Then we have Bruno Miranda, James Watson, Nicholas Isidro, Michael Heineken, who we haven't seen much of, and Wes A. Shire rounds out the top 10. Julian Martinez Pastor is a championship contender at the moment, and he is sitting in 11th. And our good old friend Tommy Cook's down there in 16th place.
Yeah, I've only got 2 cars on the lead lap behind me. It's Hill and Lemon. So.
Well, staying in the back certainly paid off for you, my friend, as well as it did for Michael Deturk, who we talked about needed a good finish at an oval, and he's going to get at least a decent finish here tonight. I mean, I think up to 18th place has crashed out of this thing pretty much already.
Yeah, Neil Lusher's running around a lap down, 2 laps down in 23rd. But I think that's it's about the only lap car with damage that's on the track right now.
And we are going to go back green. Octavio Rondeletto is going to lead our field after a major accident, a major wreck. Took out many of our drivers here tonight, including a couple of championship contenders. Rondeletto gets way out in front of Kresge. Kresge is also way out in front of third place, who's Trey Mitz. Mitz and Lafferty are going after it for the podium position at the moment. Behind them, it's Miranda. It's Dakota, DeMade, Miranda, and James Watson. And we kind of talked about this at our first oval race. But as the runs go on, it seems like the field kind of starts to tighten up just a little bit. So we saw that at our first race of the series at Atlanta as well, Legacy Atlanta, earlier this spring, that as the runs go on, the field tightened up. So
yeah, for sure. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, we're kind of 2 by 2 right now. We have 2 out in front, Rondeletto and Kresge. Behind them, Mitz and Lafferty are kind of together. And then behind them, DeMade and Miranda. It's kind of a 2 by 2 scenario, but a little bit separated right now.
Well, I tell you what, I've got separated from the pack as well. Christopher Hill jumped in front of me and is either nursing some damage, or with the new tires, we kind of lost the pack. Something I will say is, if you're taking tires at any point during this race, the first couple of laps until you get some temperature in it, that car is undrivably tight. It is very bad. So, and I let Hill through, so that wasn't me throwing shade or anything. But we have definitely lost the pack. But that's all right. I'm feeling one more wreck here, one more big crash anyway.
I'm sure there's going to be at least one more somewhere as we're riding around with you kind of in the back of the field right now. Hopefully your strategy will play off here, and we'll see you towards the front, maybe into the top 10 in here before too long.
Yeah, we'll see.
As we're going to go back to the front of the field, and just as I said, the field is starting to tighten up a little bit. This is Rondeletto in first right now. We're going to go ahead and show you guys the battle box. This is the battle for first. You can see the top 6 cars are all together, and a few more single file trying to get to this lead pack. If I count correctly, I think it's 11 cars. Our top 11 drivers are pretty much all in this front pack still. Oh, as we got one in the wall. I believe that was Heineken. And it was. Heineken got the right rear up into the wall a little bit. He has dropped pace. Hasn't completely lost that field, but I don't think there's much of a draft here with these cars. So
well, I can tell you, it's you're looking at about 1.1 seconds, but the draft is slow. It takes a long time for it to really get rolling unless you're inside of maybe 6-7 of a second. It's pretty tough sledding there, especially trying to get back up to speed after something like that.
Well, it looks like Heineken might be right there on that bubble. He's kind of sticking around, but like you said, it's taken a while, and he's got to have a little bit of damage on that right rear as well. So we'll see if he can catch back up to the field here as we keep moving. Rondeletto has hung on to this top spot. He won the first oval race of the season. It was the first race of Season 2 for the RIL Daredevil Series.
And a second-place finish last week.
Yes, and a second-place finish at the road course, Brands Hatch Indy. And this is Kresge trying to get around Trey Mitz on the outside. Almost made it work. He was trying to clear him there. And we heard our in-race reporter, Tommy Cook, say that it's really difficult to pass on the outside, although he does have a little bit of pushing help. And these cars, I don't think it really helps that much, to be honest. Tommy, if you're in the draft, having cars behind you, does it help at all?
Not really. And in fact, depending on what kind of driver you are, it could make the situation worse. If you're really antsy, getting boxed up like that, it could really put some drivers on edge. But I'll say that the effects are minimal unless you're somebody like, I don't know, Michael Deturck, who anytime that I'm on the track with him loves to bump draft me down the straightaways. Then there is a marginal effect to that. But you really need a pro's pro like Deturck to be able to pull that move off.
And we are trying to go 3 wide. I believe we were 3 wide there for a second. I believe that was Lafferty who was attempting to get up there into that third lane. He was there for a second, but then dropped back quite quickly. Now pulls in behind Christopher Kresge once again.
And I tell you what, Lafferty, this is his debut here tonight with the Daredevils. He's from Scotland. He joined our practice session yesterday, and he was one of 4 drivers in there. And, boy, I tell you what, he was pretty sporty, even though there were only 4 of us. And he's proven to be the same here again tonight. So what a great showing for him right off the drop of the hat.
And he fits in just fine with the Daredevil drivers. Is pushing 3 wide with still 50 laps to go. That's kind of the MO of the Daredevil series. They don't care where we're at in the race. They want to get to that top spot and stay there. And
I can't say I blame him.
That's a good strategy right now because we've seen Rondeletto lead pretty much every lap of this race, if not every lap. So I think that might be, like Tommy said, it's hard to pass on the outside, and we've seen that it's difficult to pass as Rondeletto has not been able to be beaten to the line yet here tonight. It's going to take a 3, maybe 4 wide move, probably, hopefully not till the end of the race to get to that point.
And what's going to help Rondeletto's case as we roll along and maybe get a full green flag stint in here is that there are not a whole lot of damaged cars on the track. Christopher Hill, I think, has some damage, but is really not that far off the pace. So when you've got 1 car motoring around here that may be a little bit sour in the engine department, that's going to help him a lot, not having to shuffle around lap cars throughout this race.
And an update on Michael Heineken. It looks like he has caught back up to the lead pack. So, Tommy, you were correct. He was still in that draft window. Just took him quite a while to get back up to the pack. So he has made it up to the rear of West A Shire.
Yeah, Heineken is an oval guy. I think this is his 3rd career Daredevil race here tonight. Ran Indy last year. And
Lafferty tried to go 3 wide again. Almost got put up into the wall. As he's lost a couple spots now, I'm not sure if he has much damage or not.
And we're only on lap 28 here, and people are trying to pull moves already. So, I mean, half the field wrecked out on lap 6. So we might as well make these races 10 laps long. There's always a ginormous crash, like less than 10 laps into these races.
That's going to be a Sidra that now pulls in behind Christopher Kresge. currently marked in third place. Lafferty drops back to fifth. He is behind Isidro now. Doesn't look like he's damaged too much. He's still right here with the lead pack. Maybe trying to take it a little bit easier now, though, as there hasn't been much position change up here in the front. Tom, you said it was difficult to pass on the outside, and that has stayed true. Nobody has been able to get around Rondeletto.
Another driver who was pretty sporty on the mile and a half. Actually, his best finish last season came at the mile and a half. That was Christopher Kresge. Got a fourth-place finish in the inaugural race there last season. So he has proven his worth again here tonight.
And if you're counting at home better than I am, that is 9 cars in that lead pack, not 11. So we have 9. We have 9 cars up here. It's Rondeletto, Kresge, Isidro, Mitz, Lafferty, Miranda, Watson, Shire, and Heineken, who has caught back up to the lead pack. Behind our lead pack, Dakota DeMate is out here by himself, running in 10th. And then there's a few cars in a single file line behind them. This is going to be Jasper, Flaum, Michael Deturk, Bless Lopez, and Julian Martinez Pastor.
And I tell you what, DL Lemon and I are putting in work. We've put about 0.8 of a second on Pastor, who's at the tail end of the pack in front of us. So we are working our tails off to get back up and pick up some more spots.
And behind them, Christopher Hill is by himself, and Cody Claiborne is actually, I did not realize this, he is in this lead pack, but he is nearly a lap down. This doesn't make sense for my timing and scoring. I think he's actually behind Rondeletto, so he is sitting in the second place position in our group here, but he has actually scored in 19th place, a lap down. As Lafferty tried to get up to the third lane, I don't know if he got tight, because it didn't look like he was really trying to make much of a move, but got back into the wall again. Tommy, are these cars tight in these corners when you're trying to make moves like that?
Well, I tell you what, you can attest to this. When you ran at Chicagoland in the IR18, you know with the new Indy car that there is a ton of aero wash. It makes driving those cars, especially on ovals, just so impossible sometimes. I don't want to completely dismiss the aero wash in the Lotus 79, but I will say it is much, much less. That isn't to say that you don't have blips like that. If you pull up on a guy wrong, you can certainly push up the track, especially if you've been treating your tires a little wrong and maybe going every which way, avoiding accidents and avoiding contact. So, you can definitely struggle here towards the end of here, as Lafferty is way off the pace down into turn number 3. I just went past him.
I was just going to let you know, Lafferty, who has been struggling with that aero wash that you were talking about, got back up into the wall and is very slow trying to get to pit road to fix some damage. So he is certainly going to go at least one lap down. As Rondeletto still leads this pack. Right behind Rondeletto on the inside is Claiborne, who is a lap down. So he is not fighting for position here, but just sitting behind Rondeletto. Trying to keep up here. Certainly going to try to get a lap back if a caution does fly. As we're going to go 3 wide here. It's just not working. You just cannot get a run on that very top lane. Not even to get around the middle lane, let alone that first lane. So I think our drivers are probably going to get quite antsy because they're not able to make moves, as we have a lapped car who is not getting out of the way, staying in the pack, almost crashes with Claiborne. I think it's Christopher Hill. As that is Hill, who the lead pack came up on, and he just stayed on the bottom line. I don't know if there was any communication on where they wanted him to go, but if there is no communication...
I never heard anything. Not a peep over the radio.
All right. Well, there was nothing over the radio, so he didn't say that he was going high or low. The leaders didn't ask him to go somewhere else. So a little bit of miscommunication from the drivers there. Luckily, nobody crashed too hard. It looked like there might have been a wheel on a tub or something there, but nothing too bad. So,
well, we know what the wheels on the bus do. What do the wheels on the tub do?
The wheels on the tub do not go round and round. I can certainly tell you that.
Oh boy.
The wheels on the tub typically go sideways around the so we're going to keep things moving here as Rondeletto still leads this thing. That's Claiborne behind him. Again, not in the picture as far as our running order goes. And the yellow flag is out. And that was in the lead pack there. I was actually looking for some different camera angles. I missed it. And Tommy, I think you were probably too far back to see what had happened.
I still don't know what happened, honestly.
We're going to go ahead and take a look at the replay. I see Isidro and Claiborne crashed. We'll see what else happened here. That's Isidro in the white car on the outside, the 424. Claiborne is the 31. And it looks like Claiborne got underneath the white line, and then Isidro came down just a little bit. They both got together into the outside wall, and I think Shire might have taken some damage. Also could have just kind of net-coated through him and not taken any damage. So we'll have to see if Wes A. Shire is slow at all. I want to take a different angle here and see exactly what happened. It looked like Claiborne got underneath the white line onto the apron a little bit. And this is Isidro on the outside that we're looking at. Yeah. Claiborne and Isidro. Claiborne got onto the apron and came up the track just a little bit, not a lot. And Isidro was just occupying that space, trying to kind of hug that inside line a little bit. So that's an unfortunate finish for both of them. I think that's going to spell the end of the night for both of them.
And while you were on the replay there, everybody was on pit road, I do believe. The fuel window to the end is open. We were about 8 laps from the end of that fuel run when that caution came out. So that was great timing in that regard.
Yeah, and we see here we're currently on lap 43 of 75 under caution. And our fuel window that we were looking at to begin the race was around 35 to 40. So certainly within the window, nobody's going to have to go for fuel at this point. I guess the question is at the end of the race, if there is a caution towards the end, do you want to pit for tires? Tommy, is there a lot of tire fall off?
Not really. And actually, what I talked about earlier could be something to watch on this restart with cold tires really making things difficult for the first couple of laps in a run. Certainly couldn't hurt. There's unlimited tires on these cars. So it's just, I guess, different strokes for different folks. I took right side tires just because it couldn't hurt. You know, I'm running around in 15th place. Why not put 2 Dr. Feelgoods on there?
You're correct. And Christopher Hill is going to be the first car behind the pace car. He is going to get a lap back here and get on the lead lap to restart this race.
So some conversations here as I've got some wiretaps now that I'm on the track. Wes A. Shire says he picked up phantom damage that cannot be repaired, but he doesn't have a meatball. So watch for the 16 Wes A. Shire to, I guess, do anything. Michael Deturck is apologizing for things I think that were out of his control. And Zachary Flaum says that everything is Dakota DeMaid's fault, which is true. That is very true.
Yeah, I mean,
We
pretty
all
much
know it's true.
Yeah, everything that happens here on the track is pretty much always Dakota DeMade's fault.
Yep.
So, no surprise there. As Shire is currently in 6th place, so if he does have some sort of phantom damage that's going to keep him from continuing in a quick fashion, this could be an interesting restart.
I tell you what, there are other than Christopher Hill, who is getting his lap back right now? Question mark.
Yes.
We don't have any lap cars in the field, or am I wrong? I think we've got damaged cars on pit road, but
you are correct. On the track now that Christopher Hill is getting his lap back, all cars will be on the lead lap, and the number of cars is 16. We have 16 cars on the track, and actually Christopher Hill came in. Whoa, I think he tried to come into pit maybe, but he spun out into pit road. He hit the inside wall.
Oh, my goodness. You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding. I don't know what happened.
Oh.
I was going to click on him to see if he was fixing damage, and he's obviously going to come to fix damage now, but I don't know exactly what caused that.
That's, I don't know what to say. I mean, we've seen some weird things tonight. And Nate Siefker was on our Twitch chat a minute ago, or I'm sure a while ago at this point, saying that was a sizable crash to open things up. And it just keeps getting weirder, honestly.
It sure does, as we are going to get ready to go back green here. The pace car is going to pull off, and it's Rondeletto once again that's going to lead us to the green flag. He has a teammate in Bruno Miranda behind him. As the green flies, one jumps out. I believe that was Kresge. Kresge's going to get all the way up to 2nd. I think he started in 5th. He's going to break up the teammates. Miranda and Rondeletto could have pretty much controlled this race, and now Miranda's all the way back to 5th. Rondeletto's still in 1st. Christopher Kresge almost is going to let Wes A. Shire into the inside lane, and he does. Kresge elects to stay on the outside. We saw Kresge on the outside of the pack at the beginning of the race, so Kresge now dips in. That's behind James Watson, now sitting in 4th. And Wes A. Shire, for having some sort of phantom damage, certainly I don't think he actually has any. He's currently sitting in 2nd, had a great restart there, made some great moves. He didn't get the best jump at the line, but made a couple of great moves there in the first couple corners to find himself in 2nd place behind Rondeletto. As we are nearly 3 wide, Miranda's going to try to take it to the 3rd lane.
That's a great feeling of relief as a driver. Thinking that you have some sort of damage that's going to ruin your race, and it turns out that it's okay and it still does exactly what you want. That's really nice.
Yeah, and you have to think that he was a little worried that he was going to have to watch out for maybe causing a wreck and trying to get out of the way.
Oh, certainly.
But did not have to worry about it at all. He gets a great jump here. We see our good old pal Tommy Cook sticking around back there in 15th place.
Still hanging on to the game plan here. Still hanging at the tail here.
A top 15 at the moment, sticking to the game plan, staying out of the wrecks. And we have one up in the wall. That might have been Lopez. I think that was Bless Lopez that looked like he might have made a little contact with the outside wall.
He got very, very close.
And we have 3 cars lined up on the outside line now. And one of them is Michael Deturck. Deturck, who hung out in the back for the first part of this race, knew what he needed to do. He waited for the big one, and then he waited for another. And now he thinks the time is now to push. He is the first car in that outside lane. He has Miranda, and I believe that's Mitz behind him. And this is interesting because Miranda and Rondeletto are teammates, and Miranda not necessarily pushing, but sort of pushing Michael Deturk at the moment on the outside.
Back racing makes odd bedfellows, that's for sure.
And the other teammate of Juncos Esports, who we have not mentioned much, is Julian Whoa, and Michael Deturck! Michael Deturk's up in the wall. He spins and hits the inside wall. Unbelievable. Just as Michael Deturck thought it was his time, he crashes. We're going to have to go and watch a replay of that at some point, but we're 3 wide here for second. Rondeletto still leading. Wesley Shire behind him. And Rondeletto's teammate with Juncos Esports is on the outside trying to get around Wesley Shire. And I hate to take a replay as the action's heating up. I'm going to stick with us here. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Deturk. But
well, I can tell you what he said over the radio. Some of it I can't repeat, but the gist of it was, I cannot believe that there's that much blinking going on in the pack. So I don't know if somebody up there is having connection issues. Sounded like it may have been directed towards Rondeletto.
Interesting. See, that's one thing here on the sim that sometimes doesn't make a lot of sense, is that when we're watching as a spectator of these races, some of the netcode issues and the blinking and things that happens with the driver's server when you're actually racing, we don't see as spectators.
Yep.
So we haven't really seen Rondeletto blink all night long, but apparently in the driver's perspective, the driver's server, if you will, there are some issues going on.
Yeah, and I really haven't noticed it either, but, I've also not been in the lead pack at any point tonight, so I can't really tell you.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are under 20 laps to go now, 19 to go. Tommy Cook's going to have another big one here, which I wouldn't be surprised to see it, although we do not have green-white checkers. There are no overtimes here in the RIL Daredevil Series, so if it happens with about less than 3 laps to go, wherever he finishes is where he's going to finish.
All it takes is, 11 people to crash out. We've already seen it happen once. And that puts me P1, baby.
Well, that would certainly be a treat here for us tonight.
Oh, gosh.
Our first mile-and-a-half race that we saw in the RIL Daredevil Series ended in pretty much the same fashion. So it's not out of the question that it might happen here tonight as Mitz is all over Miranda. Mitz was basically pushing Miranda into 3. He's going to drop down. Whoa, he's not picking a lane. He's going to drop down in front of Watson. He ends up doing it now. Oh, and I just saw Rondeletto blink once. So there is confirmation from the spectator view. Rondeletto may be having some blinking issues. And there's a little bit of lane splitting going on there between Watson and Mitz. These are your top 7 here in the battle box. Rondeletto, Shire, Miranda, Mitz, Flaum, Watson, and Kresge has now dropped back to 7th after being in 2nd after the restart. Behind Kresge is going to be Heineken, Lemon, Pastor, DeMade. Those guys are all in the top pack. Tommy Cook is sitting far behind them. He has Jasper and Bless Lopez with him. So those guys are all waiting for something to happen here in the front pack. Hopefully get some more damaged cars with a caution and find themselves where they want to be to end the race. And I'll tell you what, with not a lot of passing being able to happen, these drivers here tonight are going to get antsy as we get closer to the finish of this race. Only 14 laps to go. We're on the backstretch. They're going to start slicing and dicing, trying to make moves that aren't really there. They're going to try to push the issue. Although there aren't quite as heavy of runs here as we saw at Auto Club, so I'm not sure that will even be able to happen as Mitz gets a little squirrely, almost dipped the left side tires into the grass.
And some of these guys running up front need big point days.
Well, here's the deal with our point system. If you're up there in the top 5, you're going to get pretty good points. But if you try to push the issue and you crash, even if you finish in 10th, you are not going to have a good points day. So it's
what? I'm not going to have a good points day in 12th?
I hate to tell you, partner, but no, you are not. You're only going to get about 75 points, I believe, maybe even less.
Oh, man, that's too bad.
And mind you, our winner here is going to get 1,000 points, so that is a huge difference. So Rondeletto and Miranda are still controlling this race. 11 laps to go. Rondeletto leads him across the line. And the other Junco's Esports car on the outside, that's Miranda. They control the 2 lanes. Although Miranda is a car length behind his teammate. If you've been following along the whole time, you can see that there has not been a lot of action as far as passing goes. It's a very difficult track to pass at. That means that these drivers are going to have to push the issue if they want to make moves. Specifically, if you are back there in about 5th, 6th, 7th place, you're going to want to try to make a move here at the end of the race as we have 10 laps to go going into 3. Things have gotten a little, I don't want to say calm because it's not real calm, but
it's the calm before the storm, brother.
Exactly. We haven't had a lot of issues so far, so this could very well be the calm before the storm. That is right. As we're going roll bar view, 7 laps to go. Rondeletto leads him across the line. 8 laps to go. On board with James Watson. A view of the top 5 in front of him. That's Mitz right in front of him. Flaum on his outside there. The Miranda, the first car on the top. Wesley Shire right behind your race leader, Rondeletto. Whoa, and they're crashing! There it is!
Woo! Oh my God!
That was Mitz, who took a heck of a ride.
I thought I was gonna die. I did pick up a 4X. I don't think I hit anybody though.
And Mitz is that red car on the inside. Flaum. Mitz tries to take it 3 wide. Gets into Shire. It's not there. Wow. And Mitz goes absolutely flying. Also takes Flaum out of the race. Goodness gracious. He's a wind sail up there into the catch fence. We're going to show you our starting order for the restart when we come back, but I'm going to give you a little taste of our title sponsor here tonight.
Wow. Did you see me fly through there?
I did not, but we're going to get to an ad read here real quick.
Yeah.
Thanks to Daredevil Brewing Company for being the title sponsor of the RIL Daredevil Series. Just because the action has stopped in Indy for the year doesn't mean you shouldn't visit Speedway, Indiana. If you find yourself around IMS this offseason, you should carve out a little time to visit the title sponsor of the RIL Daredevil Series, Daredevil Brewing Company. Their brewery and tap room is open Monday to Friday and is located in Speedway, Indiana, right across the street from AJ Foyt Racing, just south of IMS. If you're not in the mood for some brew as much as you are for some good food, then check out their restaurant, Daredevil Hall, open Tuesday to Sunday on the northeast end of Indianapolis. In addition to their tap room and restaurant, you can find their products all across Indiana in restaurants and grocery stores, including the #1 best-selling Indiana IPA Liftoff. Even if you won't be in Speedway anytime soon, you can still place an order online at daredevilbeer.com. If nothing else, be sure to get on social media and thank Daredevil Brewing Company for supporting the Revolution Indy League. We also want to give a shout out to the TNT Shock Series, who has brought this race in part to you tonight, who is being a sponsor of many of our oval races this season. It's a PM18 Indy Oval League. The series starts November 1st, and signups are now open. Drivers, if you check out the race day announcement in the RIL Discord, check that out for the link to the TNT Shock Series Discord. It is there in the race day announcement. That should be quite interesting. Probably a lot of what we're seeing here tonight, as it is an oval series. So that is sure to be jam-packed, and it sounds like a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be driving in it, and I'm pretty excited about it. But also want to give a shout-out to Jacksonville Speedway for the 0-0 Challenge. I think the ad read on there is outdated for that. But I will tell you that they are hosting the season finale, the Morrow Brothers Ford MOA Sprint Car Series. That's 410 Wing Sprint Cars at Jacksonville Speedway, the Bull Ring, next Friday. Not this coming Friday, but next Friday. And it's a tight points battle, and could be looking at a first-time champion as well. So pretty exciting there. So you're going to have to watch that on Dirt Vision, or, come by and see me at the track. I'd love to meet you. So come on by.
All right. We've gotten paying the bills out of the way. It's time to get back to the action.
Yeah, paying the bills is over, but the pay window is open.
That was our third caution of the race. The first one was the big one. The second and third cautions, a little bit smaller, only a couple cars involved in both of those, but we only have 11 drivers on the lead lap now. I think actually, unless Bless Lopez was also involved in that somehow, I believe was also on the lead lap. Looks like he is in the pits at the moment. But on track right now, we have your top 11. Your order at the moment is going to be Rondeletto, Miranda, Shire, Watson, Heineken, Kresge, Pastor, Lemon, DeMade, and Tommy Cook. Rounding out the top 10, Christian Jasper going to be starting in 11th, and Lopez has come back out on the track. He is also on the lead lap still. But maybe getting some tires, maybe had a little bit of damage he needed to fix.
So I have 2 to beat to get a top 10. That was the goal coming into the night. I feel pretty good, especially if they're gonna race like they've been racing here the last few laps.
Well, let's not settle for a top 10. What do you say we get? Maybe even a little higher than that?
Oh, like 9th? A top 9?
Well, maybe go for the lead. Who knows?
All right, yeah, I'll give it the old college try here. We'll see what happens.
All right. Rondeletto is going to lead us to the line this time. It's going to be an organic overtime green-white checker. There's going to be 2 to go here as the pace car is going to pull off out of 4 when we come around. The 2 teammates of Rondeletto and Miranda are going to start this thing off just like they did on the last restart, but it did not go according to plan. Can they make it happen this time? The pace car pulls off into pit lane. It's going to be Rondeletto, Miranda, and Shire leading us to the line. We're taking the green flag. 2 to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a good restart for the Juncos Esports drivers, Rondeletto and Miranda. Pastor of Juncos Esports is also in this mix in 7th. Wesley, Shire, and Watson are within striking distance at the moment. Everybody else is out of the picture. Miranda's going to look to the top side of Rondeletto. He's going to pull back down, trying to get a run down the backstretch. He pulls out. Wesley Shire's going to go below the line, trying to make a move, made a little contact. He's going to force the issue. Miranda's into the wall. Wesley Shire's taking the lead. With James Watson right next to him, it's going to be Wesley Shire winning the race, the 3rd round here of the RIL Daredevil Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And what a finish as there was contact. Wes A. Shire really stuffed it in there, and Rondeletto and Miranda got the worst of it.
That one was not too popular over the radio, I can tell you that. Oh, man. Oh, wow.
And
that
Wes A.
was
Shire pulls
crazy.
directly into the pits. We are going to take a little looky-loo, hopefully, here at a replay. Here's Wes A. Shire goes below, 3 car lengths below the blue line. Comes back underneath. That's Rondeletto in the middle, Miranda on the outside.
And I think Shire has been disqualified. I think James Watson is the race winner. I'm not too, because he's on my standings right now. He has showed 1 lap down in 12th.
All right. We may need to.
We're going to have to wait. Yeah.
I was going to say, may need to get some clarification. Wes
I'm
A.
gonna
Shire did pass the line first. James Watson was in second, so if he does indeed get disqualified, it will be Watson the winner here tonight.
Oh boy. Oh boy, what a race. Oh my goodness. Ay.
And I want to wait until we get confirmation. Hopefully Christopher Kresge can get a little confirmation for us here.
Yeah. So, yeah, as it stands in the results sheet right now, this would be James Watson's second career victory, if indeed that is what is going to happen here.
I'll tell you what, that came across the line after Shire. It was Watson, Heineken, and Kresge, and those 3 are in waiting for interviews. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up what I believe is our third-place finisher, Christopher Kresge, and he'll be able to clarify for us. All right, Mr. Kresge, this is Matt in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, walk us through what happened there at the end, and I do want to clarify what I believe has happened. Has Wes A. Shire been disqualified?
Yes, he has. Yeah, he has.
Okay, so a third-place finish for you tonight. Then.
I'm shocked to be in the podium. I didn't even know about it till like 30 seconds ago.
Well, definitely a good showing for you tonight. We saw at Auto Club you were having a good run there as well, so you've shown a lot of speed here. How did this race play out for you? I mean, it was as chaotic of a race as we have seen so far this year. Were you in the back? I know you were up front on the outside for a while. Just walk us through how your race kind of went.
Yeah, it was frightening, the whole race. I just did my best to not come down or come up on anyone and just keep it clean. And I think I did all right there. And yeah, I got a good restart there after the yellow and passed 2 cars right on the restart. They were hanging a little low. So that kind of helped me, but yeah, that was just wild. I mean, I don't know what to say. I do want to say congratulations to everybody for racing a really clean race. I know there was that huge incident there, but other than that, I mean, it was lap after lap, next to each other, and everybody ran clean.
I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, it was a very difficult track to pass in these cars, and everybody could have gotten extremely impatient throughout the race and tried to push the issue. We didn't see that till the end of the race, obviously. But I agree. Shout out to the drivers for being patient here tonight with clean racing and trying to get the job done. We kind of equated Charlotte here to our race, our inaugural race of the Daredevil Series at Atlanta. This was about the same as we saw there, as chaotic as can be, maybe even more chaotic than Atlanta, honestly. Is this something that you want to keep in the Daredevil Series at least once a year? Or is this something that you're trying to stay away from?
I mean, it's a lot of fun. I think everyone enjoys it. It's just so hard to pass. That's the only negative. If you hold that inside line, it's just so hard to get around. But it is a lot of fun. People enjoy it. So I think there's going to be a mile and a half similar to this every season. It might not be Charlotte next season, but it'll be something similar.
Awesome. Good to hear. Well, I know us at Turn 200, we enjoy the broadcast every time we have one of these. Congratulations on the third place finish. Is there anybody that you would like to thank here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Wes for getting DQ'd so I could finish on the podium. And yeah, that's about it. And thank you guys for doing an amazing job as always.
Well, we appreciate it, partner. Congratulations again on a third place finish.
All right, thank you.
I'm excited to get our second place finisher up in here. This is going to be cool.
All right. Our second place finisher is now in the booth. Our second place finisher is Michael Heineken. Michael, you got a copy?
Hey, yes, I do.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure you didn't expect to be in second. What a chaotic end of the race. Walk us through what the end of the race looked like from your vantage point.
Yeah, I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. I got a bad start on the restart, and it looked like the Juncos guys and James and Wes had gotten quite a far ways away ahead, and I just kept driving, and I saw cars flying, and I think Wes got DQ'd. I don't know. No one is more surprised to be on the podium than me.
Well, I think Christopher Kresge might actually one up you on.
That's true. That's true. I guess.
To be there. Tommy, is there anything that you want to ask Mr. Michael?
Yeah, I always look forward to when you make it out to our oval races because I know it's your bread and butter as an Indy native. So I'm sure it's got to be extra special to get on the podium here tonight. I know give you a little bit of forward momentum as we truck along here with some oval racing. But you plan on doing the majority of the ovals this season?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do the road courses too.
Okay.
I'm actually not very good, so I don't know how I ended up in second, but I'm gonna have to look back and see what happened because I was just driving and pitting when the person in front of me pit, and somehow ended up here. So don't expect many interviews with me, but hey, I'll take it. Second.
Absolutely,
Well,
you worked for it tonight, brother. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say, we're certainly excited to have you here at the booth tonight with a second place finish. Congratulations. Is there anybody that you would like to thank out there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, just everybody that puts this together. There's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes, and there's a lot of people that make this work and make this fun. I want to thank TNT for sponsoring tonight. And that's about it. It's a different series, but I always sponsor the Indy Oval race for the Schaefer's IndyCar series. So anyone that's watching or racing in this and thinking about doing IndyCar, definitely do it. It's fun. We want to see as many cars out for that Heineken Financial 300 that we can. And otherwise, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your support of the RIL Daredevil Series. Congratulations again on the second place finish here tonight, and we hope to see you in the booth once again here before too long.
Hey, thanks, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. Your race winner here tonight is James Watson. James, you got a copy. It's Matt in the booth.
I sure do.
Awesome. Well, when you were coming to the line, did you already know that Wesley Shire was going to be disqualified, or were you expecting a second place finish there as you crossed the line?
No, he mentioned he was like, DQ, because I remembered that, because him and I were both entering that green-white checkered. Him and I were both close. He had 8, I had 6, so one more car contact, and we were gonna get the big penalty. So when he said that, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna win this race. What the hell?
I see. So I didn't realize that was the reason that that he was disqualified. I thought maybe there was a call from somebody that actually disqualified him, but it was the incident limit. So
Yes.
Well,
and
there's a 10x pass through penalty.
Yes.
Is what the official call is.
So he wasn't actually DQ'd. He just got the drive-through penalty that was implemented after the checkered, since obviously he didn't have an opportunity to serve it. So I think it dropped him a lap.
wow, what an exciting finish to the race. Let me tell you, I really enjoyed it here in the booth. Going through the race, where were you when that big crash happened right at the beginning?
Oh, you need to go back and you need to watch my cockpit view from that. Like, I was just exiting the quad oval. I saw Houston get turned back up the track, and I'm like, nope, not like this. I just threw it to the inside. I was on the grass next to the very inside wall, and I was power sliding. It caught a little bit when I got back up to the apron, and I wrestled it enough to keep it from snapping back into the wall. I made a little bit of side contact with Chris Hill, but I got lucky and got no damage from that. So yeah, you need to watch my viewpoint. It was something else, let me tell you.
Your race winner here tonight was dirt tracking it through the infield to try to keep from hitting the outside wall. Tommy, we'll have to keep that in mind and make sure we get a good look at that for our pre-race broadcast next week. Well, James, congratulations on the race win here tonight. Great to see you at the top spot of the box. Is there anybody that you would like to thank here tonight?
Yeah, I just gotta thank everyone at Team Watson Racing and Team Watson Racing setup. Check out teamwatsonracing.com for some awesome sets. Use code WATSPIN39 for 5% off at checkout. Gotta thank Chris Graham of the National Racing Network for always helping out and supporting me. Gotta thank ZAS Designs for doing most of my schemes, although this particular one was done by Sunset Arctic Graphics and Dakota Demade. Martin Sports 906 Sim Racing Apparel. They're got awesome gloves. Check them out at martinsports906.com. And Mane and Tail shampoo products.
Awesome. Love all the support for our drivers here at the RIL Daredevil Series. Tommy, is there anything you want to add?
Nope, just a great run here tonight. Always see you up front of the ovals, and it's your second career victory. So go party hard, and congratulations.
Oh, you know it. Party!
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was your race winner, James Watson. Tommy.
Wow. Oh, my.
I see you down here on the leaderboard. I believe you ended up with a 7th place finish.
I did. I will say the only car that at any point in this race I passed on the track was Christian Jasper, and he passed me back at the line. So I guess that's turnabout is fair play. But, I was pretty happy with an 8th place finish. And then, just to clarify what happened to West A. Shire, nobody actively disqualified him. So we mentioned an 18x incident limit overall, but there is a 10x pass-through penalty. And with that happening on the back straightaway on the last lap, he obviously had no opportunity to serve it. So what happens in the sim is that he is then assessed a 1-lap penalty post-race. So that jumped him to be the the last car 1 lap down, which was in 12th position, is where West A. Shire ends up, despite beating James Watson by, I would wager to say, about a 10.5. If you go back and look at it at the line, it was not quite a photo finish, but it was pretty darn close. But instead, the margin of victory for James Watson here tonight is 1.7 seconds over Michael Heineken, with Christopher Kresge in 3rd. Julian Martinez Pastor has finished in the 4th position again. That is 3 in a row. And we'll have to wait and see. That might be good enough for the points lead with Rondeletto all the way down in 9th. And Johnston down in 21st.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, obviously, after that big crash, a lot of big names taken out in that wreck. We see Matt Houston, who was very fast down there, Seifker, Nicholas Johnston, Michael Deturck actually made it through that, but ended his race in 15th after getting into the outside wall later on in the race there right towards the end. So a lot of big names did not have good finishes here tonight. We're going to see how the points shake out after this one. Tommy, is there anything that you would like to add before we go ahead and send the viewers home?
Yeah, well, I will say, if you look at the Discord right now, there's a lot of chirping and bickering, and that seems to happen here after a couple of weeks of hard racing. But luckily, we have an off week. Everybody can take a week to decompress, take a Wednesday off, go for a walk on the beach or something. I don't know. I don't know what the drivers do, but they can get themselves in the right mindset after some pretty heated blow-ups going on right now in the Discord. So, so it's Richmond, but when we come back, we have to go to Richmond. So that's a challenge in of itself. So we'll have to see what carries over here after an off week, but a much-needed off week after 3 fun races, but crazy and frustrating races for some of these drivers.
Certainly, and just the way that the points are handled, having a bad race really puts the pressure on you. So certainly some of our drivers are feeling the effects of the way the points are handed out here tonight as well. And we will see all of you not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. We do have an off week here at the RIL Daredevil Series, so we will see you here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and you're going to have that one solo.
I sure am. Richmond's going to be a fun one, and I'm going to have that one solo. You're going to get to hear dear old Mart do play-by-play for that one as well. So I hope that you guys tune in for that one. For Turn 200 and Tommy Cook, I am Matt Williamson. Hope that you guys had an awesome evening with some chaotic racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, our first night race ever of the RIL Daredevil Series. Everybody have a great night, and we will see you in 2 weeks.